Hi, I want to talk a little bit about the trip that I went on to Morocco and Spain just recently, and I want to tell you what my plan was carnivore-wise going into it, what happened to me while I was there, things that I did to get right back on track as soon as we got back home, what I want to do differently going forward, and how it's affecting me now. So we went to, like I said, we flew to Spain and Morocco, and my plan going into this was to bring a big bag of my homemade beef jerky and eat that exclusively as long as it would last. Unfortunately, it did not last as long as I had hoped. In the airport, and the husband is eating Burger King, and I ate my homemade beef jerky, and now I'm full and satisfied and feeling good. I do drink coffee, so I'm gonna go get a Starbucks now, just with some heavy whipping cream. Now, I do want to point out that I planned to eat all of the foods on this trip. So my rule for myself is that I eat 100% carnivore at home, with the exception of my organic Swiss decaf coffee and Christmas and Thanksgiving. So that's kind of when I allow myself to go off course. But I had planned to eat all of the foods on this trip, and I allow myself, when we go internationally on trips, to eat the foods, just because I don't really want to miss out on that culture aspect and, you know, the way things are in other countries. But if we're just going camping or something like that here, or a different state, I stay carnivore. So I ate that beef jerky. It lasted me until I got to Morocco, which was our first location. So we traveled for like 20 hours, and my beef jerky, which I absolutely love. I believe I have a video on that in here. But it lasted until I got to Marrakesh, Morocco. We got picked up at our hotel probably 20 minutes after we arrived. Got driven, we drove 40 minutes to the desert. Rode some camels. And I'll put some pictures of that on my Instagram, or I might attach some right here. Rode some camels and had a dinner at this amazing tented, lit up restaurant in the middle of the desert overlooking the sunset. That's the first time I started feeling crappy. So that night, I started just kind of having some cramps. It wasn't too bad, but it happened pretty quickly. It was amazing how quickly it happens. We went back to the hotel. The next morning I woke up, and from that point on, for the next 7 days, I ate all the foods, all the sweets, had a few drinks because my jerky was gone. And then I just started feeling absolutely terrible. Crampy, feeling like I have to go to the bathroom, but I can't go to the bathroom, TMI, and just low energy, tired. I think though, because you're on a trip and your adrenaline might be pumping, you're going to new locations every day, I was still able to keep up, and it didn't really hold me back from anything. But man, when we flew back home, I mean, on the drive home, and now I'm on day 3, and I still feel like complete garbage. So I'll talk about that, how I'm feeling right now, in a bit. But so I started feeling terrible on this trip. But what I did do, so that I could know that I would walk in my front door and get right back on carnivore, which I didn't really think I'd have a problem with. I think it's very mental, and for me, there's no other option in carnivore. The improvements that I have felt in my energy, I tell my friends that I have so much energy, I don't know what to do with it. So the improvements I've felt with that, there's just really no option to go back to the way I used to eat. So I didn't really think that I would have a problem, but just in case it was harder than I expected, I wanted to have a plan. So on the plane, on the way home, I got out my paper and pen. I wrote out a grocery list. I made a list of things I knew we already had at home. And I made a meal plan for the week, what I was gonna eat every day. And then I texted my daughter and had her pull out like 3 things out of the freezer so that I would have food already defrosted when I got home. And that really helped. Just coming home and being able to just throw a steak on the stove was super helpful. So that's what I did to help myself get right back on it. And again, it's also very mental. So you have to get it up here, that there's no other option. I mean, that you can do all the preparation, but if you don't have it right up here, it's going to be really, really difficult. For me, my why, my why is my sister told me that she had a Alzheimer's genetic test done and that we have Alzheimer's on both sides of the family. Needless to say, that scared the crap out of me. I'm a nurse, and even if you're not a nurse, you know what Alzheimer's is, you know how it affects you. I've seen it repeatedly, and that scared the crap out of me. Also, I was recently diagnosed with asthma, and I wanted to see if this would cure my chronic cough, which it has until, right now when I've eaten food, standard American food recently, and now it comes back. But that was my why. Those are my 2 big whys. And then obviously, as I get older, I feel like it's been harder to maintain my weight. So that's really important to me as well. But because of those things, I'm never going back. It's just not an option. So I have that right up here. But I wanted to make sure I prepared myself for when I walk in my front door and not go back to eating crap food. So that's what I did. Going forward, we're going to Japan in April, and I suspect Japan is going to be really, really hard to eat carnivore. And again, I'm not planning on eating carnivore in Japan, but I do want to try to make a point to increase my protein and fat consumption more than I did on this Morocco and Spain trip. Also, I want to bring twice as much beef jerky and supplement my food with that. So maybe for breakfast every day, I'll have my beef jerky. In Japan, they don't really eat breakfast like we do anyways. So instead of going to the 7-Eleven or somewhere and getting a Japanese breakfast, I can just eat my jerky and then have a lunch and a dinner. Or maybe I have my jerky for breakfast and lunch and then just have a Japanese dinner. I would be completely fine with that. Okay, so double my beef jerky. Other thing I want to start doing is eliminating or reducing the amount of days I have standard American diet foods. So right now I allow myself to have crap food on Thanksgiving and Christmas and when I travel internationally. So I've decided I'm going to get rid of Thanksgiving and Christmas. I felt like crap after those holidays anyways, really, really bad. So I'm not losing anything by giving up turkey and mashed potatoes. And I don't even care about those foods anymore. So I'm giving up that and strictly only allowing myself to eat those foods when I travel internationally. The last thing I wanted to talk about was for anybody who might be planning to go to Europe or vacationing, somewhere around Spain or Italy. I was so impressed, and I'll try to attach the video here while I talk. I was so impressed with the airport in, I think it was Barcelona, and then also maybe in Canada. There's 2 airports. One had a vending machine that had so much meat products in it. I wish we had that here in America. And then the Spain, I know it was Barcelona that had, how it has those little restaurants or kind of like convenience stores in the airports. This one had an entire wall of aged meats and cheeses. It was incredible. I mean, it was probably like 40 products. It was a whole wall. Again, wish we had that stuff here. I mean, people would have better options if we had that stuff. So I know that if I go there again, that I can bring my beef jerky, load up on that kind of stuff, and then maybe just have dinners and dessert or something. I don't know. The point is, I'm not punishing myself. I'm not mad at myself. I feel like garbage right now. I am, my mental state, my motivation, everything is crap right now. My digestion. but I'm not mad at myself. I planned on doing this, and I think people that succeed at anything in life are the people that can make adjustments as needed, and that is what I'm doing. I'm seeing how I felt. I'm only 4.5 months into this. I'm seeing how I felt, and I'm making changes for the next time, and that's what matters. So my health is the priority, and I'm making changes to make sure that in the future I don't feel this bad, but I still get to enjoy foods in another country. So I hope that you got some tips out of this, and I will, like I said, if you want to go on my Instagram and you can look at some travel pictures and some other things, my Instagram is listed here on YouTube. So, and I hope you guys have a great day, and see you soon. Bye-bye.